Hey everyone, we're the Violet Reality. My name is Casey Rain.
And I'm Kim Camellia, and as you can see, I'm in the really bright sun, so I might be like looking at you. So we're like from outside. We just came back from the
Day
first
one.
day of Celebration 2019.
That's right, there's our press passes, VIP, and we got in and they said, where do you want to sit? Because last year, all the press people were right at the front, right?
Yep.
And then they said, do you want to sit with the family on the riser? There's a riser at the back of the soundstage where usually the family will sit, and Sharon, Prince's sister, was sitting there, and her manager Charles. So we just went up and sat on the riser, got a great view high up, sitting with the family. So that was pretty awesome.
I was just thinking about how nice that must have been for like if they were rehearsing and like Prince sitting there and
that's
like,
like where he would sit, like right next to the desk, like on a riser. But anyway, so first thing that we all saw was some unreleased concert footage by The Time from First Avenue 1984. So actually I think they said it was the last show The Time ever did before they broke up, because we know that Morris and Prince are kind of like clashing at the stage right after filming Purple Rain, or during filming of Purple Rain even. They just were not getting along. There's so much pressure and high stakes at the time that it all fell apart after that. But it was incredible footage. So The Time, the footage that we saw of The Time at First Avenue, we've been to First Avenue on this trip, so it all comes together.
We literally went to First Avenue the day before, so I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
That's where we were. Songs like 777, 9311, Girl, Wild and Loose, The Bird, Jungle Love, Gigolos Get Lonely Too. Just all of the incredible Time songs from those first few Time albums. I think the two best bits for me were, there was this one bit where like Morris does the whole church evangelist routine. He says, "I'm gonna pass around the collection, y'all gonna give," like that whole kind of routine. And he even kind of like takes what could be perceived as a shot at Prince in that bit, because he says, "Prince, you in the audience, did you give? You took, but did you give?" That's what he said. Which is quite interesting, given that their relationship was not super great at that time.
You know what my favorite bit was? That random bit where he like took a girl from the audience and then sat her down at a table and they were randomly drinking wine on the stage.
Oh yeah. He set up a whole table with wine during Gigolos Get Lonely Too. Band's playing. Jesse's just like playing guitar like right next to the table. Morris is just on stage with a girl from the audience drinking wine. Just incredible, and really funny.
And all the little dances, but
young St. Paul as well. Very young St. Paul playing keyboards on the side. If you've been watching our channel recently, you probably saw our interview with St. Paul recently. That was his first involvement in the whole Prince thing, was playing keyboards in The Time, and very young, sort of David Bowie look he had going on.
Like David Bowie-esque, like kind of like Duran, even that sort of thing going on. Yeah, that was awesome. And then after that, we had something super special happen, and I really want to talk about this because as you know from last year, not everyone on the same track is in the same group, so like you get split up. So like you get like the concert screenings, you get them all together, and you also get the big concert at the end of the day all together, but then you get split up. So our very first thing after that concert screening was Jesse Johnson's panel, and I feel like for him it was like really healing to be in Paisley, because he hadn't been there for years.
So let's give this a little bit of context. Jesse left the whole Prince camp when The Time broke up in '84. So right after that concert footage we saw, when Time broke up, Jesse went on to a very cool solo career with A&M Records. Did some classic albums of Minneapolis funk, like Jesse Johnson's Review, Shockadelica, Every Shade of Love. And then circa 89-90, The Time, the original lineup of The Time with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, all reunited to star in Graffiti Bridge, which of course you all probably know the sequel to Purple Rain. And that was the first time Jesse had ever been to Paisley Park, because when The Time broke up, Paisley Park wasn't built yet. And after that, he had never been back. The Time broke up once again after that Graffiti Bridge pandemonium kind of era. Big hit with Jerk Out, but it didn't last long. They broke up again. And Jesse had never been back to Paisley Park since then. Had a very fractured relationship with Prince over the years. And I always say that they basically had the same kind of personality.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Both Gemini, both have that dual kind of nature going on. It's like either they're going to be really tight, which they were for a long time, or they were going to be clashing.
And you know what? And the other thing about Jesse is like you can really see that same kind of personality because like they kind of make like the same kind of jokes and like just
similar mannerisms and body language. And obviously both incredible guitar players.
Yeah.
But Jesse, you know, he did have a very fractured relationship with Prince that wasn't really mended. Even when Prince passed, he said that Prince reached out to him a few months before he passed, like he did with a lot of people. Jesse, you know, wasn't really in the right frame of mind to reply, and I don't think he replied. But you know, Prince was reaching out to a lot of people just before he passed, and so. Okay, let me rewind a bit. Last year at Celebration, after we were done, they asked us what we wanted to see next year, and I emailed them back straight away, and at the top of my list was Jesse, and so I'm glad they listened. So for me to have, but then after they would announce that he was coming to Celebration this year, there was this leaked tape of him doing and talking to somebody that he knew, and they were secretly recording him without him knowing. And in that tape, there was a few months ago, you know, he said that. He didn't have like particularly flattering things to say about Prince because of the nature of their relationship. They never really mended it, like we said. And because of that, some fans were like, "Oh, you know, why is he performing at Celebration then?" Blah blah blah. First of all, let's just not even go into how messed up it is to record somebody like without them knowing. That's just ridiculous, and it loses the context of an entire conversation and all the nuances. But you know what? I think if you really understand their relationship, you wouldn't be surprised by it. And he should be at Celebration, and he killed it. He absolutely killed it. He explained all of the relationship that he had with Prince.
And what I really liked about it as well is that he mentioned Vanity for a brief moment, and like how nice a person she was, and how she always like included everyone, and she always wanted to be there whenever people were doing something. So that was really nice for him to mention.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse was one of the few people that, you know, he worked with Vanity.
Yeah.
He wrote a song on Vanity 6 record. He wrote a song, you know, obviously Jungle Love. He wrote for the time.
Yep.
Later on, outside of the Prince camp, he produced Vanity again.
Yeah.
Produced some very big artists in his career, like Janet Jackson, produced her before Jam and Lewis did. He's had an incredible career as a real important person in the Minneapolis sound.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a no-brainer to get him at Celebration.
And he absolutely killed it. And I feel like for him, it was mostly, like I already said, it was like healing and like maybe sort of like the end of like a very big chapter of his life finally coming together and being able to deal with that finally, like getting some like clarity and like, what else would you say? Like closure, I guess.
Kind of closure and some healing for, you know, he probably has a lot of regrets about, you know, the relationship that he had with Prince, and maybe, you know, like people do when people they're friends with or not friends with at different times pass away. It's not uncommon.
No, but at the end of the day, I think both of them have always and will always just love each other, and they knew that deep down, even when they were like
absolutely. Jesse, you know, he got very emotional during his talk, thinking about all this stuff. He's never spoken about it before, so that was very moving for him and for everyone in the audience. It was really, really great. Yep. So after that, we had lunch.
Yeah, that was really nice. The lunch actually, we had like little burritos and like nachos and stuff. So
looked after everyone.
And then after that, we went. So they're doing a new thing this year with the tour. So last year we just had one big tour for like the full time, and then we like went to all the rooms in the tour and all that. But this year they split up the tour, so you have like the first part of the tour, which is different for everyone, because like some people get like the first part and some people get to see like the second part, so they put it into two parts. And then we got to see the first part of it, which for us was going into like the Purple Rain room, and then we're under the Cherry Moonies and Graffiti Bridge, so like all the movies together. And then we also got to go to Studio A,
where they showed us pro shot footage from Prince in Manchester in 2014, a tour that I wasn't at the Manchester show. I was at the two Birmingham shows and one of the London shows. There was two parts of that tour. It was Hit and Run Part 1 in February, March. Hit and Run Part 2 was in like May.
Yeah, and that was they showed us Something in the Water.
Something in the Water from the Manchester show. Just absolutely just incredible footage.
Yeah.
Prince and Third Eye Girl. To hear that see and hear that in Studio A on those speakers, surrounded by his equipment and his Oberheim synths and the Linn drum machine and all that stuff was just really, really cool.
And they had a few new outfits at the back of the studio as well. So what I really like that they have there is the pink jacket and the collar matched like sort of like turquoisey
Yes.
Strat from when he was doing Good Morning America with Tamar.
That's right. A bunch of new outfits that
Yep.
weren't previously on display. The glittery gold one from Welcome to America was on display. The pink one from Welcome to Good Morning America
Yep.
that Kim just said, that was on display. And there was color matched guitars for every suit.
I mean, what a genius, right?
And all Strats as well. They
I
were all
know.
Fender Stratocaster guitars, which actually he wasn't. That's not like the most common guitar that he was known to play, but he did every so often play the Fender Strat,
Yep.
legendary model of guitar.
And then
So that was cool to see.
Yeah.
And then finally, Jesse's performance. Oh my gosh.
incredible. Like
We got
literally
right up
just
to the front,
mind-blowing.
we danced. The set list was everything you would want
Yeah.
from a Jesse Johnson show. Tracks like Be Your Man, Can You Help Me,
I Want My Girl.
I Want My Girl, Addiction, Love Struck, all the Jesse jams that you would want. Can You Help Me was definitely my favorite.
I Want My Girl was my favorite.
I Want My Girl
Yeah.
sounded great as well. He also played Controversy. He
Yep.
played I Feel For You. Obviously, if you're playing at Paisley, you got to throw in
That was
a few
the best
Prince
thing though,
songs.
because like he made the audience sing, which was a great experience. Like we were singing as the audience, and
Yeah,
was
he
playing,
played the
which was
guitar
great.
of I Feel For You with the band, and then the audience, all of us sang the lyrics. Just incredible show. He's just an amazing musician.
Oh, yeah,
just
definitely.
ripping, just guitar solo after solo, just incredible.
And such a tight band as well. Like the drummer,
The band
his
was-
drummer's absolutely
oh, yeah.
incredible, so tight.
I think if you know that you're playing at Paisley, you have to have a tight band.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You're not going to get away with it otherwise.
No.
And Jesse knows his shit, so he
Yep.
pulled out all the stops for just a really, really great performance. And that was day one of Celebration,
And now we're,
2019.
Yeah, now we're outside and ready to go to day 2 tomorrow, which is going to be a slightly shorter day. And then we have the big screen event, so we'll get back to you tomorrow with more of these recaps. I guess the recap for day 2. But let us know in the comments below, well, if you like these kind of recaps and like what you would like to see if you were to go to a celebration at Paisley and all that kind of stuff. And yeah.
Yep, make
Okay.
sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss all the videos we put
Yep.
up. Click the little bell for notifications. You get notified every time we put a new video up and you won't miss it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Casey Rain.
Me on Instagram, because I'll be making all the Instagram photos. I'm Kim Camellia on Instagram. We're The Violet Reality. I'm Kim Camellia. That's Casey Rain.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, St. Paul here. Make sure you go subscribe to The Violet Reality, the funkiest channel on YouTube.